Hi beautiful people, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time, please do not forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you have been here, thank you very much. I see your love. Now today we're going to be making this shared 3-layer dress, and I'll be using about 5 yards because this is for a plus size person. But if you are on a smaller size, you can use 3 yards or 3.5 yards. Now the first thing we're going to do is to fold our fabric by dividing our hip or the largest part of your body by 4 and adding 5 inches. So the largest part of this person's body is 56.5. We're going to divide it by 4. Whatsoever we have, we will add 5 inches to it. Do you understand? Now we had about 14.2. Now you add 5 inches and you'll be having about 19 point something. So now that is the width for the top part. So we're going to be starting from cutting the top part of this dress, right? So this is what we're cutting. Now when you get that width, you need to come down by 1 inch. 1 inch is what you're going to use to, just sew the top before you start your shirring. The next thing we're going to do is to take the length of this particular top. So you want to take your shoulder to your waist measurement, but add some inches. Now before you take your shoulder to your waist measurement, make sure you cut out. So you put your tape, like if you're saying where you want your gown to start from is from 7 inches, so you put 7 inches up and then take the measurement. Right now I've done that. Then you cut it. Once you cut it and you have that first pattern, what you need to do is just take another of your remaining material, put that first pattern you made on it so you can get the back pattern. The front and the back are exactly the same thing, so you just need a long piece of rectangular material so that you can be able to share it. Now the reason for adding 5 inch to this is to help for, you are using an elastic thread, so it will compress the material, so you need a little more space. Now do not forget to check your front from your back, meaning I just know that okay, these are two materials. Also come down by 1 inch. This 1 inch is to sew the top of that shared part first. Always make sure you sew it first, because once you share, the fabric shrinks and you will not be able to continue what you're doing. Now for smooth and easy use of this kind of pattern, just go by half inch until you get to the base of the fabric, right? Do it, cross the line. This can be a bit tedious, but it would also help. Now when the lines are equal for smoky dress, which are also shared dress, when the lines are equal, it makes that smoky effect very good. Right now you go along to get your reeler, you take an elastic thread. Now you are not going to use your machine to put in this thread, you have to use your hand to roll it. And when you are doing this, you are not dragging the thread. Please take note, do not drag the thread, just roll it and make sure the thread is not full on the reeler. Also, you are going to be using this for the underneath. Your normal thread will still be for the upper part, which is the thread you will pass through your machine holes. It will still be the normal straight thread. Now after this, you go out, you can see that this is the straight thread, normal straight thread. The smoky thread is underneath. You smoke. Here I made a mistake. I drew out my half inch at the back instead of at the front, but I was still able to maneuver my way. Now after you are done doing the front and the back, you just sew by your allowance that you have made. After doing that, the next thing we're going to do is to take our lining. Now this lining, I do not want to join it. I want it to be a straight fabric. So what I will do now is to take my hip measurement. Now to get the fullness that you will use for that wide effect, you take your hip measurement divided by 4. Now we already did this, about 14.2. After you do that, you have to add another 5 inches to this your hip divided by 4. Whatsoever you have, you will now multiply it by 4. Please ignore that I wrote 15. It was supposed to be by 4. Now whatsoever you have, I think we had about 76.8. Now this 76.8, you divide it by 2, right? So whatsoever you get now, that is what is going to be your width. That is what you are going to be cutting this lining by, right? So you will cut it by that. I think that is going to be around 30 something, right? 30 something. Now you hysteric that you can just make it a round figure. I think I did mine about 38.5. I just did it because I wanted a little more fullness. This, like I said, this person is on the plus size. Now after you do that, also on this your lining, you have to come down by 1 inch, and this 1 inch is going to serve as where you are going to put the last layer on. The next thing you need to do is, after you've gone down by that 1 inch, you would want to take the length of your gown. Now this is like from your waist to wherever you want this gown to stop. Or if you do not take that measurement and you've taken the person's full measurement, you just minus whatsoever you've taken, or you just check the blouse. Wherever it stops, you continue it on the fabric, right, on this lining. Now once you've done that, the next thing you will do is, on that length again, you need to minus at least 4 inches, because the lining is supposed to be shorter than the material, which is what I did here. So measure another 4 inches and cut it off from that lining. That is from the full length, cut it off again. So now let's say your length was 26 inches normal. You will now cut off 4 inches. You will now have 22 inches. Now after that, you would now go ahead to do what? Cut it out. After you have cut it out, now you have 22 inches, meaning you now have it shorter. Now this just helps to make sure that your lining is not showing underneath the last layer. Do you understand? So like I said, you come down by 1 inch as your starting point. Now this 1 inch is where the first place is going to start from. After you are done, you come down by 5 inch for the first layer. Then you draw a line across it to make it a straight line. You're going to do this all through for the first line, meaning this is a wide pattern. So once you do this side, you turn it over, you do the other side, and you have a long straight line. After you're done with that, you will come down again by 6 inches, meaning you can also come down from that starting point to 11 inches, because you come down by 5 and you come down by 6, that is 11, right? Just like I have shown you here. And you rule it to make a straight line. This is going to serve as your second layer. I hope we're understanding. And please, if you have not subscribed, please don't forget, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, share, comment. You guys should acknowledge me, so I am sure that I am meeting and reaching people, that people are actually enjoying what I am doing. Now moving on, we'll go to get each layers for this 3-layered skirt. The first layer, we're going to cut 8 inches. So you take, the Ankara is about 45 inches, right? So we're taking that full length, but that full length is not going to be enough. So we'll need like multiple of that full length for it. So make sure you adjust your Ankara until you get 8 inches. You folded it like this. So meaning like this now is a wider pattern, which you're still going to divide into 2. Now once you have your 8 inches, you can see you cut it, and when you divide it into 2 like this, right? When you divide it like this, you have 2 patterns, rather you have 2. Now you need to make this is the first layer that we're doing, the 8 inches. We need 6 of it. For a normal size, you can use 4, right? But this person is bigger, so meaning the person needs more fabric. So I did 6 of this for the first layer, which is the 8 inches, meaning after I cut that 2, I cut another 2, and I cut another 2, I had 6. Next one is going to be 9 inches, right? So after you've taken 8 inches, you will now take 9 inches for the second layer. So it's just 1 inch difference from the first layer. For this second layer, I'm going to use 5 instead of 6. I will use 5. Do you understand? So I cut through, and after cutting through this way, I would also divide it. So now this is 2. I will cut another 2, and then I'll cut a single one, which will now make it 5. Now the last layer we're going to be cutting would be 11 inches, which is the base layer. The one at the last end is going to be 11 inches. So continue, adjust your fabric until you have 11 inches. Please, if you don't understand, you can replay and go back so you understand properly. This is very detailed. I mean, I took you from the cutting to the sewing to the final look of this dress, so please follow properly. Now you have gotten your 11 inches. All you have to do is cut through. Now you have 2 inches. For this 11 inches, I'm also going to get 5 of it, of this single one, 5, meaning I'll cut one, I'll cut another one, and then I'll cut a single one. It will now have 5, as you can see what I'm showing you here. Next thing you need to do is join each of these fabric. You know we have 5, so we have to join all of them together. For each of that, for 8 inches, you join them together, you hem the base. For 9 inches, you join them together, you hem the base. And for 11 inches, you join them together and hem the base. Now we're going to be starting from the last layer, which is the 11 inches. Normally, because we have to fold this long stretch of fabric on this lining, normally you do the pleat straight, but because of want to conceal it, you do it just like I'm showing, like this. So when you do it now, when you turn it over, it will look like, you know, it's covering it. I don't know if you understand. So now, moving on, I'm going to show you what I mean, right? You're going to place your fabric on that lining, just like I'm showing you. So this is the last end of it. Now you will start pleating. You are going to pleat this Ankara fabric all through the lining until the fabric finishes. Do you understand? So you have to pleat and pleat. Please do it gently. Follow through on the line. So. After you're done, this is what it looks like. So you can see what I'm saying, right? After you're done with that last layer, the next layer now is the one for 9 inches. So you do the same pleating and you would have the same result. For the final layer, which is the 8 inches, you're not going to do it like this. You're going to first of all ruffle it. That is why the layers are 6 instead of 5. So you ruffle it and then you put it straight directly on that 1 inch you came down by. So this is where it's important to see what we are doing. You're not going to turn it over like the others. No, you're going to place it directly on the lining, meaning you're going to see that rough face, right? So you pleat and pleat also, because it might be more, it might be less, you might have to stretch, you might have to condense, and you will do this until you have filled up that lining, right? Now when you do all of this, if you follow this judiciously, you will definitely get this, you will get the same result, right? Now you do this to the last end and you have something just like this, right? Now when you're done with this, the next thing we need to do is to actually now put this together. But because of we don't want to have that bulk at the back, right? You first of all hem the base of this one. You can see that is that last end, the last layer. You have to hem it so you have a neat finish. Then the next thing is just come out by this side, come out by like ½ inch away from the lining. So losing the Ankara from the lining with like ½ inch for the 11 inches layer, the 9 inches layer, and also the 8 inches layer. What we're trying to do is to join the Ankara together and join the lining together. I don't know if you understand, but just watch. Join the Ankara together, join the lining together. So meaning from one end to the other, we're going to pick it, match it, and sew it. With that ½ inch that we came out by, we just run a stitch through it. So 11 inches from left to 11 inches from right will now be joined together, just the Ankara. We'll do the same thing for 9 inches from the left and 9 inches from the right, joined together without the lining. We do the same thing for 8 inches from the left and 8 inches from, that's 8 inches from one end of the fabric and 8 inches from the other end of the fabric, and then you have it joined together, not the lining. After you have done this, you see what it looks like, that the lining is now left out. What do? Now the Ankara is joined together. You will now have the other ½ inch that you left on the lining too, that you loosened. Now all you have to do is merge that lining together. So we want the lining to be straight and conceal the Ankara inside. Do you understand? So it conceals it inside and then it just looks like, oh, it's covered. Right? Now, after you join the lining together, you would now have something like this. So you open it, you will see that there are some holes. All you have to do is drop it and stitch up those holes. Now you get your shirred top and add it to the base of the fabric. Just make 4 points and attach each of them, and also make 4 points on the skirt part. Attach each of them. The next thing you need to do is stretch this smoky part to fit into the down part, which is the skirt part, just like I'm showing you. Stretch, so stretch, so before you know it, it is now fully sewn. So just watch what I'm doing. You can see that I sew, I stretch it, sew it, stretch it, sew it. This stretching, because of its elastic, it is wide, so it's able to accumulate all the down part of it. Now look at what we have, right? At this point, we're almost done. Don't forget to subscribe, please. Thank you. Like, share, comment, encourage me so I can bring up more tutorials. Now we're going to get a fabric, same fabric. This is for the strap. All I think this fabric was like a pieces. I had about 40 inches or 41 inches now, and I had about 8 inches width. I'm just going to divide it into two for 4 inches because I need 2 strap, and I'll join it together, turn it over, and then that will become each of the strap. Now next thing you need to do is to come from the side of this dress, come in by like 2.5 inches or 3 inches depending on your choice, but 2.5 inches is fine. From the right side, coming by 2.5 inches. From the left side, coming by 2.5 inches. Make a mark there, because you are going to be attaching it to that, the 1 inch that you left, that you sewed, you hem that up part. That is where you are going to attach it on that same line, so that there's no any extra stitches. So you just put it like this. You can double it, then put it over and sew, or you do just what I did, which is put it, turn it over, then stitch on it, right? So you just run a short stitch on it. You do it on this right side, you do it on the left side, and when you are done, you take it to your machine and just run that stitch on it. Make sure you double stitch so that the strap does not pull off, maybe when the person is tying it, or if it's something that the person wants it to be over, like the person doesn't want it to be halter, then you can do that. Now when you are done, you see how it is concealed, it is not showing, and it is beautiful. Now this brings us to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. This is the end product. I love you guys, and thank you for subscribing. Bye.